Hi, so today I thought I'd share with you the wonders of coconut. I'm sure all of you by now have heard about coconut milk, coconut water, coconut oil, but I just thought I'd take you through how I came to find coconut and the tips and things that I found really useful. So, about 3-4 years ago, I decided to go on a Candida diet, mainly because I have always suffered with thrush quite a bit. And I recognised that that had become worse, and I think it was accentuated, if you like, by my sugar intake in my diet. So I had to cut sugar out, natural sugar, processed sugar, reduce wheat, and what happened was gluten as well, lots of different things. I went to a shop in Bristol, Wild Oats, which is really lovely, and came across coconut flour, which was quite expensive to buy, but made a really nice substitute for having a wheat-based flour. So you could make cakes and puddings, and we ended up making, I think it was a coconut flour bread, which was quite dense, so it tends to be quite dense, but great for making bread and butter pudding with it. So we put blueberries in, and we used coconut milk as well in the recipe. So that was really my first introduction to coconut. And it opened up a whole new avenue of recipes using coconut flour and also coconut oil. So the second thing that happened was I thought, okay, well, we're using coconut flour and a bit of coconut milk, but what about the coconut oil? So this is an example of coconut oil that you can buy in your supermarket. And it's solid, so I don't know if you can see there, but it is very solid. Now, if you leave this out in your cupboard, it will dissolve in hot weather. So quite often I open this and it's very fluid when we've had hot summers. So you literally take some out to cook with in a spoon, put it in your saucepan, let it melt like any other oil and cook with it. So what I recommend you do is maybe start supplementing your cooking regime with coconut oil, not ruling out vegetable oil, because actually they've both got really good properties. The reason coconut oil is particularly good is it has medium chain fatty acids. Now, without going into too much of the chemistry, that means that the fatty acid chains are much easier to break down by your kidneys. The coconut oil is not as easily stored as fat in your body. It's more readily used up as energy. So it's actually better if you're wanting to lose weight and go on a diet, because you're more likely to use up the coconut oil as energy as opposed to storing it as fat. And it's also easier on your metabolism. So that's really good. Vegetable oil is great too. There's kind of pros and cons for using each. So I would say use both in your cooking. So the great thing was, because I'd gone to Wild Oats, because I'd used the coconut flour and bought the coconut oil, I had the coconut oil in the cupboard in the kitchen all the time. Then over the next couple of years, it was really a process of suddenly realising all the other things you can do with it. So the next experience I had was I went to the dentist and I had my wisdom teeth starting to cut through. My dentist said to me, well, if it gets really bad, you're going to have to go on antibiotics. And I suddenly kind of thought, I know that that's going to cause my thrush again, so I don't really want to do that. I remember I went to a yoga class and was told about oil pulling at one point and thought, oh gosh, what's that? So I had a go. Basically, what I do is I leave this tub of coconut oil in the bathroom next to my shower. So when I open the shower door, I see it and it reminds me to oil pull. So what I did was I, again, put a teaspoon of this oil, solid oil, in my mouth, put it under your tongue and it will melt. I would often do this while I was showering and washing my hair. So I tend to wash my hair every other day. So actually that is a good frequency. So I would sloosh the oil around, kind of slooshing it in between my teeth, around my gums, while I was washing my hair for about 5-10 minutes every other day. Within 4 days, my abscess that had started to form around my wisdom teeth had disappeared totally. Now, this is what oil pulling does. It's actually an Ayurvedic medicine process, and the reason it works is the coconut oil actually draws out from the mouth any impurities and bacteria. So I think what had happened to me was the little flap of skin where my wisdom teeth were coming through had probably caught up bits of food, and because it was tender I wasn't wanting to brush that part of my gum very hard. But actually it needed to be brushed and cleaned out. But the coconut oil does that automatically. It draws out bacteria and impurities. The other brilliant thing about this is it automatically gives you fresher breath. It also helps your gums to be more healthier in general. It fights gum disease. And it can also help with tartar build-up in your teeth as well. So I really do recommend trying oil pulling with the coconut oil. So that was a really, really good discovery. The second benefit of the oil pulling is that it naturally whitens your teeth enamel as well. So you're not going to get the effects similar to if you went to the dentist and had the kind of UV treatment, or the sometimes I think they use bleach gels that you have to put in a mouth mold overnight. But they're so unpleasant to use. I've used them myself years and years ago, and those treatments can also leave your teeth very sensitive to hot and cold food and drink. Whereas this process, although it might be a bit more gradual, it definitely whitens your teeth. My teeth look so much better, but a natural white. So that's an added bonus as well. So going on to a few more uses, because they are pretty much endless. There's about 100 in total, but I'm just going to take you through 10 today. The other one is to use coconut oil as a moisturizer. So literally what you would do is just take, you don't need very much, take a small amount of the solid coconut oil, and you can actually melt it on your skin. And it's brilliant for locking in moisture. It's excellent for sunburn. And what you can do is you can actually supplement it. I've got really oily hands now, but in a good way. And you can actually supplement it with an essential oil. Now this one is lavender, which I like to use because it smells really good. So you can actually make up in a pot. I'm doing this on my hand, but if you've got a little pot and put the coconut oil in and added a few drops of lavender oil, you've automatically made a really great night cream, because lavender helps in the assistance of sleep. It's also really good for fighting any kind of bacteria in the skin if you suffer from acne, for example. And the other essential oil you can add in supplement to lavender or instead of is frankincense, because that has anti-aging properties. So you can smell the lavender in the room now, and that was only one drop. So it's really, really moisturising. It's really, really great, and it's cheap and it's effective. So you can actually rub this into your hands. I'm a ceramicist, so I get really dry hands on my knuckles, and sometimes in the winter I get eczema. So it actually helps to avoid me getting eczema on my knuckles. You can rub it into your elbows to make sure that you have really nice soft elbows, and your feet of course as well. So if we're wearing flip-flops in the summer, it's very common to get your dry feet. So it's really great for that, and it absorbs quickly. So actually I put quite a bit on, but it's actually absorbed really quickly. It's light. So I really recommend having a go at using it as a moisturiser for your face and for your body. And in actual fact, you can also use it to take eye makeup off, so mascara, eyeliner, that type of thing. So that's another really, really good use, with the added benefits of helping with things like wounds and sunburn. So that leads me on to another example that actually coconut oil can be used to make a wound salve. So if you cut yourself, it's really good in a little pot again to make up some coconut oil, put some drops of lavender, as we've used here, and frankincense as well, and tea tree oil. And all of these together will really help to take out any bacteria from the wound, clean it up, and lavender in particular is really good at encouraging the skin to bind back together and heal. So that's another really, really fantastic use for the coconut oil in conjunction with essential oils. The other one, which is very good for me, mosquitoes love me, unfortunately, and when I go abroad in particular, even if I wear DEET, the spray, I've even had to wear 100% DEET, which I really don't like doing because I don't like putting chemicals on my skin. I still get bitten by mosquitoes. So I was really pleased to hear that you can use coconut oil in conjunction with tea tree oil and peppermint and rosemary. And those combinations will detract the mosquitoes. They really don't like the smell of the peppermint and the tea tree oil together. So that's really worth trying as well, and the rosemary as well. So those probably sum up the main uses for coconut oil that I have found really, really beneficial. The other one, I have missed one, which will make you smile, but lots of women use maybe an aloe vera lubricant for the intimate moments in between the bed sheets. Well, coconut oil is absolutely amazing because although aloe vera is pretty good, the coconut oil doesn't dry up at all, it's natural, and because it has antifungal and antimicrobial properties, it also means that if you do suffer from thrush, it will automatically clear that up as well. So that is an amazing thing to add into your intimate regime, if you like. Finally, just to touch again on the coconut milk, this is something that I just don't drink cow's milk. I haven't done for years. What I love about the coconut milk is it's lighter. It doesn't have the risk of hormones in it if you know you do buy cow's milk, and if it's not organic, there is always that risk. And also very often you find that it's supplemented with calcium and vitamin B12 and vitamin D. So that's a really good way that you can actually get in more of your vitamins into your diet and really help with limiting the risk of osteoporosis. So that's really good for women. And then the other thing that is really great for your health is the coconut water. Now this is particularly good because it contains electrolytes of potassium, magnesium, and it means that it's more easily absorbed into your bloodstream. So I tend to drink this after a gym workout because I know that I'm usually quite dehydrated. I don't always drink enough filtered water, which I'm not great at. So if I come back from a workout and I have half a pint of this, it seems to, for me anyway, kind of, you know, be the equivalent of probably 2 pints of water. Now, there's mixed opinion on whether coconut water is actually better than filtered water or not. What I would recommend is that you try it, and if your body kind of resonates with it, and if you feel it works for you, then use it in obviously combination with drinking lots of water. I just like it because, well, my body seems to like it, and it does seem to rehydrate me. If I have a headache coming on during the day, it might be that I'm a bit dehydrated. I have a glass of this and it just seems to sort my headache out. So it's clearly doing something good. So there's lots and lots of uses, as you can see. I really hope that has been interesting for you and something practical that you can maybe just take a few of these things and add to your lifestyle. So I hope you've enjoyed listening, and I'll catch up with you again soon.